So you guys have heard about the NGSW XM5 by Sig, right? Did you know, though, that there have been certain variations of the MCX Spear just kind of out and about for quite some time, and it's made me wonder, do you think that the commercial market and the military market of the same manufacturer are giving you the same quality on both ends? Let's talk about that. Welcome back, everybody. Clint today with Classic Firearms, here to talk about some more guns. Kind of actually all about the entire, there's the military side of, let's say, a manufacturer out there, and then there's the commercial side of the manufacturer. And then you think, wow, I wonder if I'm getting as good a quality as what the military might be getting. And that's kind of what today's discussion is about, but also, too, kind of, I want to talk about how a lot, at least in this country, how a lot of manufacturers of firearms that are looking at DoD or defense contracts or military contracts kind of filled some of those guns. Because like the AR-15, which came before the M16, and the AR-10 actually coming before the AR-15 on top of that, the AR-15 was a commercial rifle that was very popular in the 1950s, mid to 1950s when it first came out by Armalite. And well, the United States military said, wow, this is not too bad. We should probably pick these up, right? So, of course, they fielded a new service rifle, much like what's happening right now with the NGSW, which was actually recently won by Sig Sauer. So, the AR-15 was around before the M16, and then it was officially in service as the M16, replaced the M14 that we all know and sometimes love. And since then, it's just been kind of an ever-evolving type of system. Well, in maybe another 10 years, it won't even be around, the M4 or the M16 like what you see right here, right? But the bayonet's still around, if you're a Marine, that is. Anyway, there's a couple of other firearms out there, though, that have seen more commercial use before military adoption, much like the Remington 700. That is a very, very popular bolt-action rifle that was adopted as a bolt-action sniper rifle by the Marine Corps, otherwise known as like the M40, also in the Vietnam War. What people were finding out, or at least what the military was finding out, was wow, a lot of these guys are shooters, avid hunters, and they already know these weapon systems so well, why not adopt that and then let these guys take off into the woods and hunt America's enemies? And, well, it's pretty much what happened. So it's pretty cool when you start thinking about that we are living in this country that actually has, that is so pro-gun, that has the Second Amendment, that will actually field America's next weapon system for the United States military with the commercial market. And if you want to see another good example of that, well, there's kind of one. But something like this guy, the Sig MCX, right? Like I just said, Sig just recently announced that they are the winners, or I should say the military just announced that they are the winners of the NGSW program with the XM5. So what is that gun, though? It's ultimately this gun with some refinement. And what I mean by refinement, complete ambidextrous controls, which some look very similar to the ambidextrous controls that you can find on, I don't know, American Defense Manufacturing. Interesting, right? So there's that. And even Radiant Raptor charging handles. Commercial market type of stuff. So pretty interesting that we're starting to see that evolve, like I said. And the MCX has been available now to the commercial market for quite some time. And they definitely grew in popularity with Call of Duty coming out. And of course, other YouTubers, gun tubers out there really showing off the capabilities and how fun this gun is, both in 5.56 and 300 Blackout. Now the new cartridge that's coming out, the that 6.8 by 51 cartridge, or the 277 Fury, looks very interesting. Have not shot it yet, but don't worry, we'll be doing a how effective is as soon as we figure that out and get our hands on some, okay? But anyway, we don't have some of the connections that others do out there. Yeah, but we're working on it, right? But anyway, so again, I find it to be pretty interesting that a lot of these gun manufacturers that do supply the United States military and law enforcement agencies here in the United States also produce firearms that are readily available to the commercial market for us civilians to take part in, to own, and to exercise our Second Amendment right. So if you are wanting to actually get a taste of what is being used in, let's just say, hot zones all throughout the world, we have that ability. Granted, there are some differences, because at the end of the day, what you can find at your local gun shop most likely doesn't go brrrt, and you have just semi-auto capabilities, right? The biggest difference between all of these types of systems, not so much this guy, the ADM that you see right here, which is a fantastic rifle, but the biggest difference is none of these are machine guns. None of these are full auto capable. Well, at the end of the day, they could be capable, but you'd probably be breaking some laws, right? No. Drill, go Bert. But anyway, third pinhole for the win, right? Abide by the law. Anyway, so the biggest difference between these and, again, the military type of rifles or assault rifles, which is an actual textbook definition term, it's the assault weapon that we have issues with. Assault rifles are the intermediate cartridge, magazine fed, full auto capable or select fire capable rifle. None of these are it. These are all semi-automatic rifles, either here for your, again, Second Amendment pleasure, defense, whatever you want it to be, competitive shooting. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with these guys, and 10 out of 10 would recommend training and owning these, right? And there's actually several reasons to own a firearm, which we'll get into in a later video. I think that would just be a kind of a fun topic. Like, why, right? That's the biggest question I think a lot of us gun owners get asked is whenever you see this, somebody who's just not used to manipulating, picking up, handling these types of firearms, why? How many of you have gotten asked, why do you need that? And don't answer the question with a question, because I know some of you are like, well, it's not a need, it's a want. Why do you feel the need to question me, right? Stuff like that. Lay out the actual reasons as to why do you need that. And I think that would be a pretty fun answer or fun question to answer in a later video. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments section. But with that being said, the commercial market and the military market from the same gun manufacturer, these being FN, this being the FN military collectors, what's the difference between the M4 that I'm issued in the Marines that's also made by FN? We still have some Colts as well. But the M16s especially. What is the difference between the M16 that is right here and the one that I'm issued? Other than these looking a whole lot better than what I'm issued, for sure. Again, I only have safe and semi, even though it has auto on the lower receiver. There is no auto capability on this guy here. You'll notice on M16s that are actual full auto capable and machine guns, somewhere in this vicinity, there's also a third pin that's drilled out for your auto sear. And of course, the M16 that I'm issued is a 3-round burst, as is the M4. The United States Army gets the M4A1 guys, which are your actual full auto capable M4s, not the 3-round burst. At some point in time, I think the Marine Corps said, oh my God, we are expending a lot of ammunition. Let's slow it down a little bit. They're only getting 3-round burst, right? Maybe that's the case, I don't know. But the biggest other difference is it really comes down to, I think the quality is still there. I'm not sure if they're coming off the same production line as is like HK with their MP5 and the SP5. The MP5 and the SP5 are rolling off the same tooling, same machinery, same employees are building these guns, as is the MP5 is being built. The SP5 and the MP5 are pretty much one and the same, except one is full auto and the other is not. Right, it just sucks. So really the biggest difference comes down to gun laws, because the 14.5-inch barrel that I have on my M4 that I'm issued isn't pinned and welded in place with the muzzle device to get it to an overall length of 16 inches, so that way it doesn't fall under that 16-inch mark, making it thus a short-barreled rifle. Because that makes it so much... Anyway, again, Maybe the better question is, instead of why do you need these guns, why do we have such ludicrous gun laws? All right, so here we are. The FNM4. Identical, as far as looks go, to what the United States military has issued. But the pin and weld barrel, the not having full auto capability, those are the biggest differences. These sights even are downright the same to what the United States Army has issued. I've even got an Aimpoint Pro on here to try to mimic that as well. Something that's not so standard, but is, let's just say, coming a long way, like the Tech 10 sling you see right here. There's some pretty cool things that they're going to be announcing soon, I believe, so stay tuned for that. Big fan of the sling system. The B5 stock. The B5 Salt Mod stock is probably one of my personal favorites. It's just got the aesthetic, it's got the look, it's awesome, right? So I've tried to kind of clone this, to mimic this, to be something that I think, for one, is fun and practical without going too crazy, but is also pretty similar to what is issued. I did the same thing with the M16 military collector that you see right here. Got the ACOG on top, again, just like how I'm issued. I'm not even issued a iron sight. Isn't that kind of funny? On the M16. But we do get an ACOG, and this is actually my Marine Corps issued sling, the Vickers combat application sling that you see right here. And I have the bayonet because why the heck not? I mean, the Marine Corps still issued bayonets. And if you think that's absolutely ridiculous, well, you're wrong. They make it really easy for you to stick your rifle into the ground whenever you are trying to set up your tent and do poke things without losing it. So, cool. So the question at the end of the day is, are the firearms that you're buying from the same manufacturer on the commercial side of things the same type of quality than what's being issued to the United States military? And, well, some, myself included, might even argue the commercial market's getting a better quality firearm. That's only because this stuff gets heavily used and sometimes not maintained properly. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Do you think that the United States military and the manufacturers that also have a commercial side of sales, do you think that they skimp on one region over the other as far as commercial versus military sales? That would be an interesting question. Let me know what you think.